Good morning, everybody. What is going on? Today is blood test day. But before blood test, we have to work out. Before we get to working out, let's talk about blood work. I'm no expert. Let me just put that out there. I have, however, been paying attention to experts and listening to experts for quite some time, but specifically in this last 3 or 4 months, I've really kind of dug into the whole cholesterol thing, your whole relationship between your LDL, HDL. What is LDL comprised of? You have like 13 different types of LDL particles. These are all just carriers for the cholesterol. They're the lipoproteins, so they actually allow the cholesterol to be carried through your blood, because apparently cholesterol isn't actually fat soluble without a carrier. Anyway, I might be slightly off on that, but that's my understanding. And it's more the particle size and the health of the particles that matter. There's also the relationship between your HDL and triglycerides, VDL, all of that stuff too. So when the doctor looks at it, the doctor looks at that LDL, looks at those triglycerides, and goes, here's your things, here's your problems, blah, blah, blah. When that LDL, mine was like 170 something, 180. And my total cholesterol was 270. I'll check again. I'll look at the numbers here. We'll compare when I get my results back from this blood test today. But anyways, I'm not entirely worried about my LDL cholesterol being high without knowing what it's comprised of. There's also something out there called ApoB tests that they can do that kind of are a good predictor as well. I don't know so much about that. I just kind of recently delved into that a little bit. Peter Attia and his The Drive podcast have quite a few people who have talked about that in pretty good depth, and it's fascinating stuff. Apparently we used to actually use that as a marker, and then for some reason we got stuck on this regular old lipid panel that we do nowadays that doesn't really tell us anything. There's no actual real correlation, I guess. I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert, but the data isn't sound. It isn't solid. There's too much things pointing to people I lost it. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not an expert. This makes me think hard, and it's early in the morning. I haven't had any coffee. I haven't had any coffee for days. I haven't had any caffeine for days. The shrimp and pots are out, by the way. It's shrimp season. It's going to be good. Side note. Sorry, get distracted. Anyways, so yeah. I'm not sure what my panel is going to look like. I'm going to take a look at it. We're going to talk, and then I'm going to actually request some more in-depth testing, kind of based on what we find here. But I don't know. I've been eating nothing but meat for just about 3.5 months, and by all accounts, people say that'll make your LDL go up. I don't know, A, if it will, B, if that's a bad thing. I don't think it is. Anyway, off to the gym. Well, I am off to the gym. I'm on my way to the gym. Gonna get a lift in. I'll try and film some stuff. Kind of just depends on if it's crowded and stuff. I don't want to take up all this time for people. I like to just get in the rack, get my squats done, get out, get on the next one, get the bench done. You know, like I don't like to sit there and dilly-dally and hang around. I kind of lift pretty fast. I do kind of bare minimum recovery time between sets, and just bang it out. And nothing drives me more than these people that just willy-nilly take their time, monopolize the squat rack for 45 minutes because they're doing 6 sets of squats. Like, come on. So anyway, I'm not that guy, so if there's people around who are trying to use the thing, I'm not gonna video myself. But if there aren't, I'll video sets, and I'll show you, see where I'm at, see where my form is. I'm not lifting real heavy right now, just trying to get things back dialed in, but working on form, getting that ass to grass. It's gonna be a good time. About as good as it'll get. Fifth set of rows. Okay, we are done with working out and done with the blood draw. So now we get to wait till next week and see what the doctor says. Anyway, yeah, that's, God, I hate getting my blood drawn. I got a fear of needles. I can't remember what it's called. It's not the needles so much, it's the injections. And so the blood draw, with something going out instead of in, is a little easier for me to do. But I'm still not a fan at all of getting jabbed with anything. So, yeah, always takes me a little to calm down and relax. I'm glad they don't do any like blood pressure tests or anything before that, because if they did, they'd look at me and say, "You're dying." Anyways, so that's all I got today, right now at least. I don't got much more. I think I said my piece for the day. Hopefully as I get more into this, the vlogs will get more entertaining. Like I said, I'm not gonna do the whole professional camera thing. I got a GoPro and a cell phone. It's an old iPhone. Seems to do okay. Audio might not be perfect. Not gonna have that crisp, creamy looking bokeh. You're not gonna have all that, like, you know, it's not gonna look so cool. But that's not what this is about. This is for fun, and this is for encouragement for myself and others, and hopefully just kind of like watching the journey, you know. We've been here before. I started doing this 5 years ago, lost a bunch of weight. I'm 254 this morning. I got down to like 245 last time. 239 was my absolute lowest, but that was after a couple days of fasting. So I'm almost to my absolute low. I'm leaner, I've got more energy. Like I've knocked off all the vegetables. So this isn't like a war on vegetables, but this is a war on vegetables. I don't think they are as necessary as we've been preached at for years. I don't think a lot of the nutrients are bioavailable. They're wrapped in fiber. You know, it's harder to get. I'm sure there's some benefit to some vegetables. I don't doubt that. I don't think it's something we need to worry and concern about so much. I've been eating exclusively meat for 2 months now, and mostly meat for 3.5 months. I haven't had any problems at all. I don't have any concern, you know, so what it is. I'm gonna keep going. Lots of people are eating nothing but meat these days. they all report the same stuff, man. Your energy is just on top of the world. You're usually, as I try to say this, I stutter, but my brain is firing. Decisions are quicker. Things are quicker. I'm not as lethargic as I've been. You know, I don't wake up in the morning like tired and groggy. Although I will say the last week I've been trying to cut caffeine out. I'm going like zero plant products, and to me that actually means coffee as well. The one thing that I have continued to do is pepper. I like pepper on my steak, on my liver, on my ribs. So I have continued to put pepper on things, but other than that, zero plants. I feel better. I actually feel better. My digestive tract feels better. I've had times in the past. In fact, I'll tell you a funny story. The reason I quit last time, all of this, I had to have a colonoscopy because I started bleeding or having blood in my stool, and that was not an experience I liked. And I was eating a ton of vegetables. Before that, about 5 years before that, I didn't go vegetarian, but I went very, very low meat sort of thing. And the more I ate tons of broccoli and cauliflower and spinach and leafy greens. And after 5 or 6 months of that, like, I felt terrible. I started getting problems, and I had to stop doing that. So I kind of did it last time. I got off of the like super keto train after the colonoscopy, and I maintained, like I've said, I maintained for a few years. Up until last year, I was only 256 pounds. So right now I'm where I was last year. I am leaner than I was last year. I wasn't doing any lifting. I was doing a little, physical activity now and again, but not much. And I definitely, I'm much better shape now this time than I was last time at the same weight. But yeah, I had maintained, my diet is pretty well. I opened a restaurant that was a bakery, but I always kind of said it's a keto restaurant in disguise, because any of our foods, you just take the bread out and they're 100% keto friendly. And in fact, the macros are almost perfect with every item you get from my restaurant, with the exception of the bread. And we were really adamant with the bread that it's natural. It's very natural. We make sourdough as our real kicker. We don't put any sort of preservative or anything in there. The ingredients are salt, water, and flour. And then our other breads, we add yeast, and then we have, a couple of, we make some brioche and some other nicer bougie bread is what a friend of mine called it a long time ago. And it's good stuff, but I didn't eat a lot of the bread. I would have a burger now and again. That's what we do. We make the best burgers on the planet, by the way, and a lot of people say that, but I actually mean it. We take fresh, all natural chuck. We grind it every day. There's no soy in my restaurant except for 3 things. The Impossible Patty, for those people who don't want to eat meat. The barbecue sauce we use on our rodeo cheeseburger, just because I can't, we used to make everything homemade. We go through so much barbecue sauce, I can't be doing that all the time anymore. And the gluten-free bun. Go figure. So anyways, those are the only, we're really careful to have healthy, good food for people. And they don't know it. It's kind of like it's in disguise of this burger joint and breakfast joint that, whatever. Anyways, yeah, that's it. That's my update. That's it. I'll let you all go for today. But it's Friday for me. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. The weekend for me means a lot of work, so it's time to ramp up. But stick in there. Keep going. Have a good one. Thank you. Also, one last thing. I haven't eaten for 43 hours now, 42 hours. And I'm like just now kind of getting hunger pains. I was thirsty. I didn't realize that it was okay to drink water before my blood draw, so I didn't drink. I stopped. I drank some water at 6:30 this morning, and then I stopped. Tried to give it 3.5, 4 hours to work out. And then I got there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you can drink all the water you want." So I've been just chugging water. I actually almost wanted to stop and get some, but I don't have time. So anyway, that's it. Fasted 42 hours, 43 hours. Not a problem in the world. In fact, I'm not even going to eat until probably dinner time, about 3:30, 4 o'clock for me. I want to make sure I don't eat 4 or 5 hours before bed. I run an event in the morning, so I got to get up early, so it can't be a late night for me. So I got to be in bed by like 9 o'clock. So I want to get that eating all done by like 5 at the very latest. So that's how I do this. I'll talk more about the fasting and how to do that. I'll dedicate one of these things purely to fasting, how I fast, how I get my electrolytes, all that kind of stuff. So that's all. I promise. I'm done.